I need to achieve the $1,000 in about 6 months. So, pag natapos na yung 2,000 ninyo na credit card, I would suggest na you will cut that card and you will not use it again. Lay off tayo, mawalan tayong trabaho, suddenly is ma-fire tayo sa work, mawalan tayo ng income na papasok sa ating buhay. So, that way, ayoko na, hindi na ako maglalagay kasi bibilhin ko tong bagay na to, ganyan. Hello guys! Welcome back to our channel. This is Rowena, and in our channel I talk about finances. So guys, why I talk about finances is that we were in debt for a long time here in Canada, and then once we realized that we are in so much debt that we commit to ourselves, kami mag-asawa na we will go out of this debt. So we made the important decision na kami ay talagang gagawa ng paraan para makalabas kami sa aming pagkakautang. So guys, in today's video is I will lay the steps kung ako ay nasa pagkakautang ngayon, kung ano ang gagawin ko para makalabas ako sa debt situation na yan. Following the famous steps of Dave Ramsey. Kung hindi nyo kilala si Dave Ramsey guys, he is famous in YouTube in helping people na makalabas sa pagkakautang. Some people na lumalapit sa kanya ay kaunti lang ang debt, but most of the time na nakikita ko sa kanyang programa ay yung mga tao na malalaki talaga ang utang, yung hundreds and thousands of debt. Meron pa akong isang nakita na almost 1 million ang debt nila, including their mortgage, their cars, their credit cards, personal loans, and student loans. If you have that kind of debt, talagang it will consume you mentally. Kaya some people will look for the way talaga kung paano makalabas sa malaking pagkakautang. So guys, without any further ado, let's jump into the steps. So Dave Ramsey has what we call baby steps. Ito ang tawag niya sa 7 steps na kanyang ginawa, na finormulate niya kumbaga para mag-serve as guide natin on our way to become financially free. And the first step is that we will save $1,000 towards emergency fund. Etong amount na to guys ay magsaserve na buffer natin. So for example, we have an emergency coming into our life when it comes to our medical situation, is gagamitin natin itong pera na ito kasi nga when we don't have the emergency fund is doon tayo kukuha sa ating credit card or personal loan or credit line. Kaya if we have this at least 1,000 na emergency fund is instead of going into more debt, dito na natin kukunin. So we have this peace of mind na if we have an emergency coming into our life, kasi nga from the term emergency we can never detect when it's going to happen. So you will set aside $1,000 into an account na never mo siyang galawin. So what you will do is every paycheck automatic kang maglalagay doon ng certain amount until ma-achieve mo yung $1,000. So for example, if I have a paycheck of $800 bi-weekly, $800. So for example, in my RBC checking account is doon papasok ang $800 na bi-weekly paycheck. So what I will do is inside RBC, I will set up this automatic payment or automatic transfer of money from my checking account to my savings account. So for example, is dating yung sahod mo ng Friday. So what I would do is I would decide kung magkano ang ilalagay ko sa savings account every paycheck. So for example, I've decided na I need to achieve the $1,000 in about 6 months. So in 6 months, there are about 24 weeks. So 24 divided by 2 is 12 kasi bi-weekly yung sahod, diba? So there are 12 weeks na parang deadline na gagawin mo sa sarili mo na kailangan ma-achieve mo itong $1,000. So 1,000 divided by 12 is about $83. So let's say you're going to put $85 every paycheck to your savings account. So ito yung isi-set up mo inside your RBC account. So from checking to savings is $85 every paycheck. So from that time on, you don't have to do this every single time. Na every paycheck is manually ita-transfer mo yung pera. Kasi if you will do it like that na manual, the chances are high na hindi mo siya magagawa. Na one day sasabihin mo lang na ayoko na, hindi na ako maglalagay kasi bibilhin ko tong bagay na to, ganyan. If you think na you can do more than $85 bi-weekly every paycheck is you can double it. And then if you double it, that means you can achieve the $1,000 na emergency fund. You can have that savings in about 3 months. So that means mapapadali ang pagsisave mo ng emergency fund. And by that time, you will go into the second step in the baby steps of Dave Ramsey. And the second step is listing and paying your debt according to the amount. So, ang gagawin nyo ay ililista nyo ang lahat ng mga utang ninyo, and then you list it from the smallest debt. So, for example, you have a credit card of 2,000, and then you have another credit card of 5,000, and then you have a personal loan of another 5,000. In Dave Ramsey's system is you will pay it by snowball effect. So the snowball effect means you will pay off the first smallest debt you have. So in our example na $2,000 yung smallest debt mo na credit card, yun yung una mong tatapusin na bayaran. But the other credit card and personal loan you have, you will still pay the minimum amounts. Ang gagawin mo lang is kung may extra money ka, doon mo ilalagay lahat sa $2,000 na credit card mo para madali siyang matapos. So, for example, in that $2,000 na credit card, guys, is 20% ang interest rate. So, 20% of 2,000 in a year is $400. So, divided by 12, which is 12 months in a year, you will have roughly $33 per month in payment na minimum lang siya. So, ang gagawin mo, hindi mo siya babayaran ng $33 per month kasi minimum lang siya, di ba? So, doon lang siya mapupunta sa interest. What you will do is, kung may extra ka na $100 or even $200 or more, as long as kaya siya ng inyong budget, is doon mo siya ilalagay lahat sa 2,000. So, can you imagine how fast you will pay off that $2,000 na credit card? So, pag natapos na yung 2,000 ninyo na credit card, or even if hindi pa tapos, guys, I would suggest na you will cut that card and you will not use it again. Kung gagamitin nyo pa, of course, it will incur some amounts and then another interest, and then the amount will keep adding up. So, I would suggest na stop using your card and then pay it off. So, pag natapos mo na yung $2,000 na credit card mo is one debt down ka na. So, that feels good na already. And then you will move on to the other credit card, which is in our example is $5,000 na credit card. And then you will do the exact same thing over again. You will pay it off more than the minimum amount na ni-require ng credit card. So, let's do the math again. So, $5,000, ang 20% in a year is 1,000. So, we'll divide 1,000 by 12, which is around $83. So, $83 ang minimum payment ng $5,000 na credit card ninyo. But, as I mentioned earlier, do not use this card na. Again, is you will pay more than the minimum payment each month. So, you paid, for example, $85 per month. And then, you now have extra $200. So, what you will do is, you will add it up and then try to do your best na you will add more to it. And if I were you, I will make it 300 just because I want it to be a fixed amount. So, $300 for example, ha, ang ilalagay ninyo sa $5,000 na credit card niyo. So, what will happen is mapipay off mo siya, matatapos mo ang credit card na yan in a short period of time. Now, when you're done with that, you will keep doing that to your other loans. But if your credit cards are done and then you move on to personal loan or credit line, it's easier, guys, because the interest rates for those things are lower compared sa credit cards na 20%. Ang nakikita ko sa personal loan and credit lines are around 6 to 10%. Depende kung gaano katagal na ang inyong loan. So, yun nga, it gets easier. And then, by the time na na-pay off mo na ang first two debts mo, it feels so good and you were into that momentum na. So, you will feel like, yes, I can do this, I can keep going until ma-pay off ko ang lahat ng mga utang ko. So now, can you see the snowball effect na sinasabi ni Dave Ramsey dito sa pagbabayad ng utang natin, di ba? From smallest to biggest amount. So now, let's move on to the third step, which is to save 3 to 6 months worth of living expenses. So in our case, let's say we have $2,500 of living expenses in a month. So 2,500 times 3 is $7,000. So that means you will need to have $7,000 $7,000 na ma-save in other savings account towards your living expenses in case, guys, na ma-lay off tayo, mawalan tayong trabaho, suddenly is ma-fire tayo sa work, or any other types of reasons na mawalan tayo ng income na papasok sa ating buhay. So that way, in case, for example, guys, this happened to us way back in 2020 nung nag-pandemic. My husband's company laid off a bunch of people and then na-include siya dun sa layoff na yun. And since konti lang din ang expenses namin kasi nga we're living below our means and then we have some savings, is hindi kami natinag dun sa layoff na yun. And we can still live like a year or more than that. So, that living expenses na worth 3 months, at least 3 months, guys. If you can do more than that, I would suggest do more. But if you cannot, then do at least 3 months worth of living expenses. Just for these reasons na in case mawalan kayo ng trabaho, and then, you know naman na kahit na mawalan tayo ng trabaho, is still our bills are coming in. So, that means kailangan pa rin natin ng pera kahit na mawalan tayong trabaho. As we know it. So, you were going to use that 3 months worth of living expenses. So, that means, kung mawalan kayo ng trabaho today and you have $7,000 and your expenses in a month is $2,500, that means, guys, you have like 2 or 3 months max na maghanap ng work para may income na naman napapasok after na maubos yung 3 months worth of living expenses ninyo. That's how it works. That's why these steps are very important na sundin kung gusto nyo talagang makaahon sa utang and hindi na babalik dun sa utang. In case something happens to you, like for example, magkasakit ka or anything like that na hindi ka makapag-work and then walang papasok na income, is you have some savings specifically for that. The next step is to invest. After kang mag-save ng 3 to 6 months worth of living expenses, is marami ka ng extra money from your paycheck dahil wala ka ng utang na binabayaran each month, and then panatag na ang loob mo na in case walang income na papasok ngayon, is meron ka ng nakalaan na pera dyan. So, you can start investing, and I would suggest na in Canada, you will save in TFSA. I personally use Wealthsimple for that. You will just download Wealthsimple app in App Store or in an Android store and then mag-sign up. From there, you can see na you can add some money from your bank account to your Wealthsimple account. So in Wealthsimple, guys, you can open TFSA account or RSP, RESP, or other savings account. There is also an account for cash. So for example, guys, you will want to start investing in stocks or in ETFs. Inside Wealthsimple, guys, you can set up automatic transferring of money from your checking account towards your Wealthsimple account, TFSA account. So you can do this inside TFSA, guys. You just need to follow the prompts that they have inside there. And if you want to do it just once, kasi gusto mo siyang itry, you can also do that. So for example, initially is magta-transfer ka ng $100 to your Wealthsimple account, TFSA, para mag-start kang mag-invest into stocks. So, you will transfer that amount, and inside Wealthsimple, you can browse for stocks and ETFs na you wanted to invest into. So, for example, you already have the $100 inside TFSA, is you will browse the stock and then buy a share or two. It depends on you, guys. If you wanna try just one share, you can also do that. Just so you will experience it, and then from there, you can like increase your amount or increase your share. You have those options. They also have this automatic thing, but I don't use it, so I could not say anything more of it. But for DIY, I can tell you that it's easy. It's just like managing your bank accounts as well. It's not that hard. So, you will buy those shares and then just let it sit there because buying stocks is long term. But here's a disclaimer. Wag muna kayong bumili ng stocks doon or anywhere kung hindi nyo pa na-research kung ano ang stock. In case wala talaga kayong idea on the basics of stock investing or ETF investing, is mag-research muna kayo, okay? You can do that in YouTube. There's a lot of Canadian content creators, financial advisors, or anything like that dito sa YouTube na mapagkukunan nyo ng information when it comes to investing in stocks, especially Wealthsimple or similar apps. Dahil in Canada, Wealthsimple is kind of popular when it comes to opening TFSA account and investing. Kasi if you're not gonna do the research first, you may make a mistake that will cost you in the long run. One example is that you cannot do day trading in your TVC account. Day trading, in simple terms, is parang yung short term lang siya na pag-i-invest na you will buy and sell, ganun. Parang ganun na activity. So, you would want to stay away from that activity kasi nga, bawal yan inside TVC. So, let's move on to the next step, which is to save for your children. In our case, guys, we don't have RESP because ever since my son was born here in Canada, I started to research about RESP, and then by that time, wala pa akong ma-invest and stuff, so I did not really go deeper into that. But nung nag-start na kami mag-invest, we have some money to invest somewhere na, I dug deeper into RESP and kind of just understand what really is RESP and so on so. But me and my husband decided na hindi kami maglalagay ng RESP fund for our son kasi mag-isa lang naman siya, and instead, we invested into life insurance for ourselves. I have a life insurance and so is my husband. All of those, as you know, for our life insurance is for your children kung in case may mangyari sa inyo. And aside from that, guys, we also made some investments na para sa anak namin. RESP means Registered Education Savings Plan. It's for Canadians only, guys. If you're outside of Canada, you may have some similar types of savings plans, but in Canada specifically, it's called RESP. So, it's a whole lot of other topic, guys. So, if you wanted to understand all of those things, you can do your own research. It's important to understand something before we get into it para ma-avoid natin ang future problems. Now, let's move on to the next step, which is paying off your house or your mortgage. So, guys, if you ever have a mortgage right now, is yun yung next step na babayaran ninyo and then talagang i-pay off mo siya early. Hindi mo hihintayin yung remaining na, for example, 20 years, 24 years na remaining dun sa mortgage. So, when it comes to mortgage, guys, I'm not an expert to that thing, and also as far as I know is every bank and every account, every financial institution, they have different rules when it comes to paying your mortgage early. So, if I were you, if nandito na kayo sa step na ito, is you approach your bank, you contact your bank, and then ask an advice on what to do. Because as far as I know, guys, is you cannot just put a big amount of money right then and there towards your mortgage account kasi nga they have some rules towards it. The banks need to earn money, guys. So that's why they have these rules set before ka kumuha ng mortgage account na ito. But the general principle in paying off your mortgage is still the same. You kind of just accelerating your payments para ma-pay off mo yung mortgage mo in a really short period of time. And the last step in this system is to build wealth. And in building wealth, there are a bunch of things that you can do. One of those things is to invest more. So for example, you already had that wealth simple na nakaset up and you have some sort of stocks na there na na-invest. You can keep on investing more on that. And in my case, I have some ETFs there na na-invest ko na inside Wealth Simple, and what I will do is to keep adding more share or investing into other ETFs or into other stocks. I would diversify my investments, guys, para in case something fails, hindi maguguho ang inyong mundo. Here's one thing, guys, that I've noticed also in Wealth Simple. I would just like to throw it out there, no, kasi I have this experience very recently inside Wealth Simple. So, ganito nangyari, guys. I have a certain investment in like a gold. And then, one time, I logged into my account and I noticed na wala na doon yung stock na yun. And I was like, what? And I noticed na merong dalawang stock na hindi ko ininvestan noon. So, it was something new to me. So, I was like, nawala yung isa, and then may dalawang stock na bago sa paningin ko. And as I dug deeper, I noticed na yung gold company or whatever na yun pala is, I don't know what happened, nagsara or whatever. Wealth Simple just automatically bought a different stock from that amount na meron ako na nakalagay dati doon sa stock na nawala, na naglahong parang bula. So, they invested it into a different stock. And then, I just let it be like that. Hindi ko na siya ginalaw. Hindi ko siya itinransfer anywhere else. Because I just trust Wealth Simple, guys. So, let's go back to building wealth, guys. You can also invest into starting a business. So, as you know, we already have a small business here in Canada. We've been running this business for 3 years now. So, that's one option that you can also do, guys. Aside from investing more, is you can start a small business. And if I were you, since wala na akong utang, is magre-research ako kung ano yung mga small business na maliit lang yung startup cost. So that's I would do. Kasi in business guys, the more you try your best na your business will work is the more income will come in. It's different from 9 to 5 job na kahit na ma-promote ka man, even if sa work is masipag ka, kahit na sipagan mo, i-double, triple effort mo yung sipag doon sa trabaho mo, as long as ganito lang yung sahod mo and ganito yung number of hours na pinagtatrabahuan mo is ganun lang talaga ang sasahurin mo. And guys, of course, hindi ko kakalimutan na Dave Ramsey is really into giving. He really stresses this out na the more na may pera ka na kasi wala ka ng utang, financially stable ka na, is you will increase your giving. So don't forget that along the way na magbigay kayo charities or anybody or anywhere na pwede kayong magbigay in any kind of situation as long as you can give. Kahit na nung time na may utang pa kayo, if you have the chance to help someone, do so. That is Dave Ramsey's principle and this video is about that. So of course, I would not forget to mention that dahil yan ang isa sa mga bagay na pinapahalagahan ni Dave Ramsey, ang magbigay. So guys, just a quick recap. Here are the baby steps. First is you will save $1,000 for emergencies. The next one is to list your debts from smallest to largest and then pay them off by snowball effect. The third step is to save at least 3 months. 3 to 6 months is the ideal now worth of living expenses. And the fourth step is to invest. The fifth step in the baby steps is to invest into your child's education or into your children's future. The next step is to pay off your mortgage early. And then the last step in the baby steps is to build wealth. So guys, those are the baby steps in Dave Ramsey's system or approach towards financial freedom. But always remember that tayong lahat ay hindi pare-parehas ang sitwasyon natin when it comes to our finances. So I would also suggest na lumapit kayo sa isang financial advisor or an expert para makapagbigay sa inyo ng advice when it comes to your finances. So guys, that's all for this video. I hope you find this helpful. Please like if you do so and also don't forget to comment down below if you have questions. Thank you so much and I'll see you on the next one.